In the previous video, we explored the first 10 lessons from 40 Things I Wish I'd Known at 40 by Robin Sharma. As we continue this journey, today we'll dive into the next 10 insights, lessons that have been just as transformative for me. From understanding that sometimes not getting what we desire is actually a blessing, to realizing that discomfort is often the gateway to growth, these lessons offer invaluable wisdom for anyone looking to live a more intentional, meaningful life. So let's dive in and discover how these truths can shape your own path of spiritual awakening and personal growth. When I do not get what I desire, the universe has something a whole lot better in mind. There are moments in life when we don't get what we want, and it can be incredibly frustrating. Maybe we didn't get that job, the relationship didn't work out, or a dream didn't come to fruition the way we imagined. But as I've learned, what often feels like a setback is just God's way of redirecting us towards something better. Proverbs 19:21 says, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." The disappointment of not getting what we desire is often a sign that something far better is on the horizon. Trust in God's timing and His greater plan for your life. His ways are higher than ours, and He always knows what we truly need, even when we don't understand it at the time. Being scared just means you are about to grow. Frequent discomfort is the price of accelerated progress. Fear is a natural part of life, especially when we're faced with something new or challenging. I've come to realize that fear is not something to avoid, but a signal that I'm on the verge of growth. 2 Timothy 1:7 reminds us, "For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control." Every time I've pushed through fear, I've grown stronger, wiser, and more capable. It's in those moments of discomfort and uncertainty that we experience the most profound spiritual growth. When we're uncomfortable, we're often stepping into new territories where God is calling us to stretch and grow. So embrace the fear. It's a sign that God is doing something new in your life. If you risk all for love and it does not work out, there is no failure. All love stories are in truth hero tales. No growth of the heart is a waste ever. Love is the most powerful force in the universe, and it's something worth risking everything for. Even when love doesn't turn out the way we expect, it's never a failure. Romans 5:5 tells us, "And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us." Every time we open our hearts, we grow, even if the relationship doesn't last. Every moment of love, whether it's romantic, familial, or friendship, teaches us more about God's love for us. If love doesn't work out, remember you've still gained something valuable, a deeper capacity to love and a heart that has grown. Working diligently without worrying about the rewards is the exact thing that brings the rewards. In our world, we're often told to focus on the outcome, the rewards, and the recognition. But true fulfillment comes when we stop worrying about what we'll receive and focus on doing the work God has called us to do. Colossians 3:23 says, "Whatever you do, work heartily, as for the Lord and not for men." When we give our best without expecting anything in return, the rewards, whether in this life or the next, are often greater than we could have imagined. The work we do with integrity and passion, without worrying about recognition, is the work that pleases God. It's in the quiet faithfulness that true success lies. Just because someone is aging does not mean they are growing. Aging may be a natural process, but growth, especially spiritual growth, is a continuous journey that we must choose to embark on. As we grow older, it's easy to fall into the trap of complacency, thinking that simply adding years equates to wisdom or maturity. However, Psalm 92:14 speaks of a different kind of aging. They still bear fruit in old age. They are ever full of sap and green. This verse reminds us that spiritual vitality is not bound by age, but by the desire to grow, learn, and bear fruit at every stage of life. True growth is not automatic with the passing of time. It requires intentional effort to seek wisdom, deepen our relationship with God, and open our hearts to change. It's about consistently pursuing spiritual development and not allowing ourselves to become stagnant. No matter how many years we've lived, God still calls us to grow, whether in our love for Him, our understanding of His Word, or our ability to serve others. So as you age, don't settle for simply growing older. Strive to grow deeper. Let each year be an opportunity for a greater connection with God, a deeper understanding of His ways, and an ever-increasing fruitfulness in your life. Growth doesn't stop with age. It is a lifelong journey, and it's never too late to start or continue. Life has a fabulous feedback system, showing you what you are doing right by where you are winning, and what you need to improve by where you are frustrated. Life has a way of giving us feedback. Whether we're succeeding or struggling, the signs are all around us. When things are flowing, when we're experiencing success, that's God's confirmation that we're walking in alignment with His will. On the other hand, frustration often signals that there's something we need to adjust. James 1:5 encourages us, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him." Life's feedback system is a tool for growth, helping us stay on course and improve where needed. Don't be discouraged by frustrations. Instead, use them as opportunities to listen to God and make adjustments that lead to greater wisdom and progress. It usually takes 20 years of working anonymously before you acquire the wisdom and expertise required to know what to leave out of a piece of work so it becomes extraordinary. Great things are often built in the quiet, unseen moments of life. We live in a world that values instant results, but true mastery and wisdom come over time through patience and persistence. In our work and in our spiritual growth, the most profound progress often happens in the background. As 1 Peter 5:6 reminds us, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that He may lift you up in due time." Just as a craftsman hones their skill over years of quiet practice, spiritual maturity grows in those moments when no one is watching. It often takes years of working anonymously, perfecting the small details, learning from failures, and gaining the wisdom needed to make something extraordinary. The most valuable lessons are not always learned in public triumphs, but in the quiet moments when we are faithful without recognition. These moments shape us into the person we need to be for the greater work God has prepared for us. So when it feels like your hard work is going unnoticed, remember that in the eyes of God, nothing is wasted. Every prayer, every effort, every quiet act of obedience is shaping you into something extraordinary. Trust the process, for in time, your work will speak for itself. The humbler the person, the stronger the person. Humility is often mistaken for weakness, but in reality, it is the greatest form of strength. The world may praise the loudest and most assertive individuals, but true power is found in those who serve with a humble heart. Jesus, the greatest example of strength, humbled himself to serve others, and through his example, we learn that humility is the foundation of true strength. Philippians 2:3 reminds us, "Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves." The strongest people I have encountered are not those who demand attention or recognition, but those who quietly serve and lift others up. They don't seek the spotlight, yet their impact is profound. True strength is not measured by the noise we make or the power we wield, but by our ability to love, serve, and uplift others with grace and compassion. In a world that often celebrates self-promotion, God calls us to a different path, a path where strength is shown through humility and power is made perfect in weakness. When we serve others humbly, God's power shines brightly through us, and that is where true strength lies. Your income will never exceed your self-identity, and your impact will never be larger than your personal story. The way we perceive ourselves directly influences the way we live and the impact we have on the world. If we see ourselves as children of God, worthy of His calling and equipped for His purpose, that belief will shape everything we do, including our finances and the legacy we leave behind. Proverbs 23:7 reminds us, "For as he thinks in his heart, so is he." How we view ourselves matters deeply. If we see ourselves as small or insignificant, we limit the possibilities before us. But when we truly understand that we are made in God's image, created for a specific purpose, our potential is limitless. Our income and impact are reflections of the value we place on ourselves. If we don't see ourselves as capable, if we don't believe in our ability to make a difference, we will never reach the heights God intends for us. However, when we align our identity with God's truth, that we are worthy, empowered, and called, we open the door to a greater life. Our personal story, the journey God has led us on, becomes the very platform for our influence in the world. So don't let the world define you. Embrace who God says you are, and watch as your income, impact, and purpose grow beyond anything you could have imagined. We get what we settle for. So stop settling for what you don't want. We are often tempted to settle, to accept less than what we are truly meant for, but God's plans for us are far greater than anything we could imagine on our own. Too many times we find ourselves stuck in circumstances, relationships, or jobs that don't align with the abundant life God desires for us. It's easy to become complacent, to believe that this is all there is, or that stepping out in faith is too risky. But remember, God's promise is not for a life of mediocrity or defeat. Jeremiah 29:11 reminds us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." When we settle, we are not only limiting ourselves, but we are also limiting God's ability to work through us. God has placed within you the potential for greatness, and it's only when we rise above our fears and comfort zones that we can truly embrace His plans. Don't settle for less than what God has promised you. Step forward in faith, knowing that the life He has for you is one of purpose, hope, and fulfillment. You are called to a higher standard. Don't let fear or complacency keep you from the extraordinary life He is waiting to reveal to you. As we reflect on these next 10 lessons from 40 Things I Wish I'd Known at 40, I encourage you to remember that life is constantly teaching us, even through the challenges and setbacks. Each moment, whether of joy or struggle, is a chance for growth and transformation. The key is to trust the process and recognize that the universe has a way of guiding us to exactly what we need. Don't be afraid of discomfort. Don't settle for less than what you're capable of, and always remember that your journey is unique. As you embrace these lessons and let them shape your path, may you find deeper peace, greater purpose, and a closer connection to God's plan for your life. Keep moving forward and know that the best is yet to come.